Hello, my name is Lauren Haney, Director of Athletics here at Brandeis. We are thrilled to unveil the Jim Zotz Wall of Recognition, a space dedicated to the most decorated swimmers and divers in the program's history. The wall is named for Hall of Fame inductee Jim Zotz, who served as the head coach for Brandeis Swimming and Diving from 1978 until 2010. Jim was honored as a two-time New England and UAA Coach of the Year, coaching 22 All-Americans throughout his career. In addition, his teams were named CSCAA All-Academic 44 times in his tenure. Jim's selfless nature and focus on the academic and athletic success of the student athletes was evident throughout his career. When he was inducted into the Hall of Fame, instead of simply focusing on his personal honors, he conceived the Wall of Recognition as a way to showcase the honors of those he coached. Now, we will hear from a few alumni who can speak to Jim's impact on their lives, not only as athletes, but as people.
What can I say about Coach Zotz? Coach Zotz is the reason that I came to Brandeis University. My family had been going there ever since my grandfather went there for medical school years and years ago. My dad coerced me into looking at it. One vacation we were up there for Thanksgiving, I showed up to Brandeis, didn't really want to go there. It was not even on my list, just did it as a favor. We went down to the pool just to check it out, and as we were walking in, out comes this bouncing older gentleman with a great big mustache. And he welcomed us with open arms, and even though he was on his way out to see his family for Thanksgiving, he brought us in where he let us have bagels with the recruits, and then he spent the next hour and a half just walking around talking about his love for Brandeis. It was at that moment my junior year when I decided that that's where I wanted to go to school.
It's very fitting that the Wall of Recognition will be named after Coach Zotz. Coach is really responsible for having built the swimming and diving program from the ground up. And by the time I joined the team in 2000, I swam from 2000 to 2004. The team was a really well-established program. And Coach can really be credited for building a team that was rooted in the idea of unity. The heart and soul of the team was really that it was a team of camaraderie and community, that we were kind of a big family that supported each other and held each other accountable. It wasn't so much a team about having the fastest times or your rank in terms of your event. It was that we came together to challenge each other, and Coach was there to challenge us and support us.
From him I learned deep respect for others as well as for myself. And that, more than anything, has helped me succeed in life. And I think about that, what he taught me constantly. It's just been amazing. He was a truly honest and truly decent person who cared about me, and he cared about all of us on the swim team.
He continued to be my mentor through 4 years of school there. He did a lot more for me than anybody else ever has. It was his influence that caused me to want to go into coaching and into swimming, and it wasn't because of success in the pool, which I had great success with Coach Zotz and loved him for that. It was for the things he did away from the pool. I still remember the first UAA championships I went to. I disqualified a relay by false starting. I was so upset. It was our chance. We were gonna move up a spot for the first time in years, and Coach Zotz was he came in the locker room, he put his arm around me and said, "It's more to life than that." And ever since then, it's just kind of what I took into my coaching and my working with athletes, which was, serve as a mentor, serve as a role model, show them that you care about them, and then fast swimming comes. And that's what he did.
I probably wasn't the easiest swimmer to coach. I hated morning practices. I swam by myself later in the morning. I spent my summers coaching swim camps at Indiana University, and I would come back with lots of new ideas and opinions. Coach Zotz tolerated them, and I think my teammates teased me mercilessly every time I came back. But over time and through many adventures together, and we had many on our travels, I came to adore him, and we worked great together, and I couldn't imagine swim for any other coach.
I would say that there was one thing that coach used to do that I still carry with me to this day, and that was he would put a quote up on the top of the board before every practice, and just a little something for us to think about while we swam back and forth for 2.5 hours. And one quote has always stuck with me, and that was, "In the middle of difficulty lies opportunity." And I can't remember whose words those were, but I remember that quote and it stuck with me. And it's a perspective that I take into all aspects of my life. At the time, it was a perspective that I took into my life in the pool, in the classroom, and to this day, it's a very important piece that I take into my perspective on life.
Because we traveled so much together, he became like a family to me. For some of the swim meets that we went to in South Bend, Indiana, where else? Cincinnati, I think we had one in Cincinnati, St. Louis, Missouri, wherever the UAA schools were. Actually, it wasn't the UAAs, wherever the national championships were, and they weren't in greatest of places. It was just me, Coach Zotz, and my dad. And I think one testament to Coach Zotz and my time at Brandeis is that I learned to love swimming again. And here in California, I swim almost every day.
You know, I really credit Coach for providing us with unique challenges that we otherwise, didn't get in the classroom or in life outside the pool. And I really think that that's the unique experience of a student athlete.
There's nothing, I can't put into words what Coach Zotz has meant to me as a coach, a mentor, and now as a friend. And I love sharing my life with him. And he showed me what coaching beyond just swimming fast really meant, and that's what caused me to go into the sport. I can't say anything more about that man. I love him.
I think that this wall is a real tribute to a coach that dedicated his entire career to Brandeis University athletics, and I feel very honored to be a part of that tribute and dedication.
Thank you to all of our alumni, not only those who have supported the Zotz Wall, but those that have been supporting Brandeis swimming and diving from the beginning, and those that understand the value of being a student athlete, and not just a student athlete, but a part of the Brandeis University swimming and diving community. Your continued support of the swimming and diving program does not go unnoticed by athletes and staff. Our goal is to always create an experience for our student athletes and alumni that they can be proud of. And no one has done that better than Jim Zotz. Over his 40+ years at Brandeis University, he has served as a role model to hundreds of student athletes and coaches, like myself. As a first-time head coach, he took me under his wing and really helped me understand what it means to be a part of the Brandeis community. Congrats to Jim Zotz on a long and illustrious career. His dedication to Brandeis student athletes and coaches is unparalleled. I couldn't think of a better way to honor such a tremendous coach, mentor, and friend. Thank you, Jim.
First and foremost, I'd like to thank all of our generous alumni and other folks who donated to this project. In addition, I'd like to thank Nicole Carter, Lynn Dempsey, and Andrew here for making sure that this has actually happened and it's on the wall. The project itself has been in the works, in my mind, for well over 20 years. Almost came to fruition in 2008, but here we are. And I couldn't be more proud to have my name associated with all the outstanding accomplishments of both academic and athletic for all of our swimmers and divers whose names now appear on the wall. As I reflect back on the many years of coaching the team, it is the biggest chunk of my life. And it's something that I think about often. I think about all of you often. I think about things the great things that you did. I think about things that I'm proud of to have gone through with you, with your personal growth. And I really thank all of you for your confidence in me, for believing in me as I went along, even when my ideas sometimes were not standard procedure. You allowed me to trust my own gut feelings and to proceed, and you trusted in that, and that's been great. I can also say that over the years, I still think as a coach, and oh boy, I should have tried this with so-and-so, or I should have done this with so-and-so. I mean, those thoughts are just always there. As I look at the other side of things, that is your life after Brandeis Swimming and Diving, I just can't stop bragging about all the things that I've learned and I've known, and whether I'm seeing stuff online or whether I catch up with several of you on the phone or through Zoom, and it's amazing. Some of you, you haven't changed a bit in terms of your physical appearance. You look exactly the same, but just the things that you've accomplished, both from the point of view of starting families, your children, the pride you've taken in terms of what they're doing and sharing that with me. Boy, the one thing that I would love more than anything in this world is to have you all in one room again together, and a good 4 or 5 hours for me to get around and speak to you individually. But I want to talk a little bit more about some of the things that I share this with other coaches when I'm mentoring young coaches, and they talk about a lot of times you do a lot for your teams and you never really kind of hear back, and just one little sentence or word can resonate and stay with you for so long. And I just want to tell you that I love the fact that you have shared with me different experiences and given me, I guess, accolades for stuff that just were normal and was just part of our process as we work together. But I get virtual years out of each of those comments. I save, if it's in writing, I save it and glance at it from time to time. And getting back to talking and mentoring the younger coaches, say, it'll start happening. People will start saying, and you will get so much mileage out of that and recognition from that it's fantastic. So I guess I hate to use the word recognition. I just wanted to let you know how much pride I have when I read things like that, and when you tell me different things like that, what it meant to you. Most of the times I can remember exactly what you're talking about, but there are others that I say, wow, I'm so glad you told me that. I had no idea. And it's great. And again, I love you all, and I thank you for all that you've done for the university, for the Brandeis University Swimming and Diving team.